Hi, it's Charles Kelly. I've just been out on a viewing today with my estate agency side, Open House South Herts. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the fall in prices again, as reported by the Nationwide this week. Prices fell year on year by over 3%, which is the first time it's been in those sort of figures year on year. And prices have been falling month on month, actually, according to two of the lenders, Nationwide and Halifax. And they've fallen by the largest amount, according to Nationwide, since 2009. Remember that period, that was after the financial crash. So things are definitely slowing down. Interest rates and higher interest rates are starting to bite. We saw interest rate go up again last month by the Bank of England and the Federal Reserve. So they're really trying to tackle this inflation, which went up in the UK. It's over 10%. So things are starting to hurt the market. Obviously, inflation, rising costs of everything is starting to have an effect. And that's, property markets don't fall like the stock markets do, or, the commodities or the crypto market, obviously. So property markets tend to slow down like a big tanker in the sea, when it takes a long time for a tanker to turn or slow down. So things move slowly in the property market, but I've got a feeling it's slowing down. Landlords are selling up. We know that landlords accounted for 12% of sales in the last year, but 16% of 12% of purchases, but 16% of sales. So more landlords are selling up due to the things we've talked about: increased legislation, the abolition of Section 21 as proposed by Michael Gove, and obviously the George Osborne tax hikes from a few years ago. It's strange that you're seeing a Conservative government, which is meant to be the friend of small businesses and the friend of entrepreneurs and people that want to row their own boat. They are doing as much damage as a Labour government would do to this rental buy-to-let sector. But obviously, there is no votes to be won in helping landlords, and renters have been suffering, not because of buy-to-let landlords, I feel, but because of the lack of social housing being built over the last 30 or 40 years. Successive governments have failed to build any significant amounts of social housing. I can remember the last major building of council estates, I think, ended at around the end of the 70s. That was the last time I saw major estates being built, certainly around the London area. So we've seen a shortage of housing building up over the years, and obviously it's not, landlords are not popular with voters, and we hear from charities that renters are suffering, and Zoopla come up with a figure the other day saying there are 30% less rental properties on the market. So we're seeing the market squeeze and then rents going up. Other things bothering landlords is the lack of yield, because prices have gone up faster than rents, and now interest rates are affecting their investment return on properties. Then we're seeing higher maintenance costs. The cost of maintaining and changing things has gone up significantly. Then you've got the government proposing to say that they're bringing in higher EPC ratings, ceilings, I guess, if you like, that they'll want all properties on the rental market to be a C or above. It's strange because we looked up 10 Downing Street, and that has not got a C rating. Many of the government buildings don't have a C rating, but they're expecting landlords to get all their properties up to that level, which is going to be difficult with older properties, frankly. Some of the older properties, it's going to cost maybe tens of thousands of pounds to get those up to the level of what the government are proposing. So a lot of landlords are saying, well, I've just had enough of this, I'm going to sell up. Another statistic I heard is that most landlords are over the age of 55. They bought these buy-to-let properties as a retirement vehicle, and maybe they're just tired landlords. The old saying, they're tired landlords and just want to get out of the market. So that could be, I guess you might call it, natural wastage. They're just reaching that retirement age and maybe selling up one or two properties to pay down borrowings and have maybe one or two properties mortgage free. So that could be the reason. Or maybe just higher interest rates have forced some landlords to sell some properties to pay down their loans so that they can keep going. So there's a number of factors in play there, but one thing I can see is that the market has slowed down, inquiries have slowed down, asking prices are coming down, and we can see sale prices are coming down month on month, according to two of the biggest lenders in the country. So does it mean there's going to be a crash? Not necessarily. You've got the people talking about crashes and that sort of thing, but there's still a demand for properties. People still need somewhere to live, and there's still immigration is still coming in. That people are cramming into smaller and smaller spaces through HMOs and that sort of thing. So there's definitely a demand for properties. Perhaps prices will have to come down to meet that demand. I don't know, but whether we'll see a crash or not is another matter. We shall have to see how the economy goes, how the government reacts, and again, I think interest rates are going up, and they might go up again, but the government's own figures suggest that inflation will come down to under 3% by the end of the year. So that should signal lower interest rates as we get to the end of 23 and into 24. So we shall have to see. But at the moment, there are some bargains out there. I think that there are some properties, if you're looking to buy to live, it's not a question of when the best time to invest is. It's a question of when do you want to buy the property you're living in. I wouldn't treat it as an investment or a speculation. I would just get in there, because obviously when you're buying a property to live in, you're saving on rent. And a couple I've just showed a property to are in their 30s, and they are still renting, so they are first-time buyers. So the age of a first-time buyer is getting older and older. But whether the property that they're looking at buying here in St Albans could be a good investment, but whether it's a good investment or not, they will be stopping paying rent and putting that money towards their mortgage, which will be lower anyway, and they've got a place to live in. They've got some security there. So that's more important to them than whether it's the right time to buy or trying to time the market. So if you are a first-time buyer and you're looking to buy and you've got the right deal and you've got a property you like and you've got a good mortgage deal, I wouldn't wait until properties go down or values go down, because the vendors might decide, well, if the value's gone down, I'm not going to sell, and they'll just sit on it and the market could just stagnate. Obviously, the vendors I'm talking to need to sell their property so they can buy somewhere else. So if they don't get the right price, they're not going to take a massive reduction, because then they won't be able to buy the property they need. So the market could just stagnate, as it did in places like Japan, when prices fell. So it's not always the right answer to just wait and wait and wait. Obviously, if you're an investor, then and you've got cash, then maybe you can wait and swoop down on the bargains. But if you're looking to buy for somewhere to live, then waiting is not always the answer, because you could wait and wait and wait, and then the property you're looking at is gone. You can't find that property again. Who knows? There's no right and wrong answer. You've got to do what suits you. But definitely, as a home buyer, I wouldn't treat it as an investment. I would treat it as a place to live. And whatever happens, it's usually cheaper to pay a mortgage than it is to rent. And rents are only going one way, and that's up. And then you've got no security when you're renting long term. So go ahead and buy. Get your foot in the ladder, on the ladder, and enjoy living in that property. That's the best thing. So I'll just thought I'd quickly give you a report on the falling house prices. I wouldn't panic too much, but prices are definitely heading that way, as it inevitably does when interest rates go up. It's just a blunt tool by the government to curb inflation. So thanks very much for listening. Check out my other videos on Charles Kelly Money Tips podcast on YouTube, but I'm also on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and all those sort of places as well. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. Bye for now.